Hello everyone, and welcome back. Today, I want to speak about something quiet, but incredibly powerful. Self-control. It is not loud. It does not always look impressive from the outside. It does not need attention, praise, or applause. But deep inside a person's life, self-control is one of the greatest forces that can shape their future. Many people want success, peace, confidence, a better life, a stronger mind, and a calmer heart. But very often, they look for change in the wrong place. They think they need better circumstances, more motivation, or other people to understand and support them. But sometimes, the real change begins when a person looks within and asks, "Can I control myself?" Because life will always bring pressure. People will disappoint you. Situations will test you. Emotions will rise. Distractions will appear. Desires will pull you in different directions. And in those moments, the person who can control themselves has already won a very important battle. Self-control does not mean you never feel anger, fear, sadness, or temptation. It means those feelings do not become your master. It means you are able to poise, think, and choose your response instead of being controlled by every emotion and impulse. A person without self-control may know what is right, but still do what is harmful. They may have dreams, but waste their time. They may want peace, but react with anger. They may want success, but choose comfort again and again. But a person with self-control slowly becomes different. Their mind becomes more stable. Their decisions become wiser. Their habits become stronger. Their life begins to move with direction. So today, let us talk about the areas where self-control matters most. The first lesson is this: control your emotions. Emotions are part of being human. We all feel happiness, anger, frustration, fear, excitement, disappointment, and sadness. These emotions are not wrong. They are natural. But the problem begins when emotions take control of our behavior. When someone becomes angry, they may speak in a way they later regret. When someone becomes afraid, they may avoid opportunities. When someone becomes too excited, they may make careless decisions. When someone becomes disappointed, they may give up too early. The emotion itself is not always the problem. The reaction is. Imagine someone says something negative about you. Maybe they criticize your work, misunderstand your intention, or speak to you unfairly. In that moment, your first instinct may be to respond quickly. But a reaction made in anger rarely brings peace. Words spoken in anger can damage relationships, create conflict, and leave regret behind. That is why self-control begins with a pause. A pause may seem small, but it is powerful. It gives your mind time to breathe. It gives your emotions time to settle. It allows you to ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Will my reaction improve the situation? What is the wisest response right now? This is where maturity begins. A calm response does not mean weakness. Silence does not mean defeat. Sometimes, the strongest person in the room is the one who does not allow anger to decide their behavior. The second lesson is this: control your thoughts. Your thoughts are extremely powerful. They shape how you see yourself, how you see others, and how you see the future. Before an action happens, there is usually a thought. Before a habit is formed, there is a thought. Before confidence grows or fear takes over, there is a thought. If your mind is full of worry, negativity, comparison, and doubt, your life will feel heavy. But many thoughts are not facts. They are simply thoughts. Your mind may say, "I cannot do this." But that does not mean it is true. Your mind may say, "I will fail." But that is not proof. Your mind may say, "Everyone is ahead of me." But comparison rarely shows the full story. A disciplined person learns not to believe every thought that appears. They observe their thoughts. They question them. They choose which thoughts deserve attention and which ones must be released. This is not fake positivity. This is mental discipline. You must also protect what enters your mind. What you watch, what you listen to, what you read, and who you spend time with all influence your thinking. Your mind is like a garden. If you do not take care of it, weeds will grow on their own. But if you plant the right seeds, something beautiful can grow. Control your thoughts, and you begin to control the direction of your life. The third lesson is this: control your habits. Your habits are the small things you do repeatedly. They may not seem important in the moment, but over time, they shape your identity. The life you are living today is, in many ways, the result of repeated habits. If you repeatedly focus, learn, work, pray, exercise, read, plan, and improve, your life slowly moves forward. But if you repeatedly delay, scroll, complain, avoid, and waste time, your life slowly becomes unorganized. Self-control means asking yourself honestly, are my habits helping me become the person I want to be, or are they pulling me away from that person? Do not try to change your entire life in one day. Instead, begin with one small habit. Wake up a little earlier. Read a few pages. Study for 30 minutes. Keep your phone away while working. Exercise for 15 minutes. Plan your day. Sleep on time. Small habits, repeated consistently, become a new life. Motivation will not always be there. Some days you will feel excited. Other days you will feel tired. But habits can carry you when motivation disappears. That is why good habits are one of the strongest forms of self-control. The fourth lesson is this: control your reactions. Life will not always go according to your plan. People will not always speak kindly. Some situations will feel unfair. Some days will test your patience. You cannot control everything that happens around you, but you can control how you respond. Many people allow outside events to control their mood. One negative comment can ruin their whole day. One disagreement can disturb their mind for hours. One small problem can make them react as if everything is falling apart. But a person with self-control understands that reaction is a choice. Between what happens and what you do next, there is a small space. In that space, you can either react impulsively or respond wisely. That space is where your character lives. When someone speaks harshly, you can choose calmness. When someone misunderstands you, you can choose patience. When something goes wrong, you can choose problem-solving instead of panic. This does not mean you accept disrespect. It means you do not lose yourself while dealing with it. Before reacting, ask yourself, will this response help, or will it only satisfy my ego for a moment? Sometimes, silence is wiser than argument. Sometimes, walking away is stronger than proving a point. Sometimes, calm explanation is more powerful than anger. The fifth lesson is this: control your time. Time is one of the most valuable gifts you have. Every person receives 24 hours in a day, but not everyone uses those hours wisely. Some people use their time to build. Others use their time to escape. Many people do not fail because they are not talented. They fail because they waste time without realizing it. They scroll for hours. They delay important work. They watch unnecessary content. They keep saying, I will do it later. But later becomes tomorrow. Tomorrow becomes next week. And next week becomes another lost opportunity. Time does not wait for anyone. To control your time, you must first know what truly matters. A disciplined person plans their day with intention. You do not need a perfect routine. Even writing down the 3 most important tasks of the day can make a huge difference. Another important part of controlling time is fighting procrastination. Procrastination often appears when a task feels difficult. So the mind looks for something easier. But the more you delay, the heavier the task becomes. The secret is to start before you feel ready. Start small. Start imperfectly. Start for 5 minutes. Action often creates motivation. Remember this, every hour you spend is part of your life. So spend it carefully. The 6th lesson is this: control your desires. Every human being has desires. We want comfort, pleasure, success, recognition, entertainment, and rest. These desires are normal, but they become dangerous when they control our decisions. Many people know what is right, but still choose what feels easy. They know they should study, but they choose entertainment. They know they should work, but they choose distraction. They know they should improve, but they choose comfort. In the moment, comfort feels good. But over time, it can become a prison. Self-control means understanding that not every desire deserves to be followed. Just because you feel like doing something does not mean it is the best thing for you. A disciplined person can say no to short-term pleasure because they are committed to long-term growth. One simple way to control desire is to delay it. When you feel a strong urge to check your phone, wait a few minutes. When you feel like avoiding work, sit with the discomfort and begin anyway. When you feel like giving up, pause and remember why you started. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you strengthen your mind. Real freedom is not doing whatever you want. Real freedom is having the power to choose what is right, even when desire pulls you in another direction. The 7th lesson is this: control your actions. At the end of the day, your life is shaped by what you actually do, not what you plan to do, not what you say you will do, not what you dream about doing, but what you do consistently. Many people have good intentions. They want to improve. They want to become disciplined. They want to build a better future. But intention without action changes nothing. Self-control becomes real when it turns into action. If you want better health, you must act. If you want knowledge, you must study. If you want skill, you must practice. If you want success, you must work even when it is not exciting. Successful people do not rely only on motivation. They rely on discipline. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline says, do it anyway. Small actions repeated over time become powerful. Controlling your actions also means taking responsibility. It is easy to blame other people, circumstances, luck, or the past. And yes, life can be unfair. But if you only blame, you lose power. A disciplined person asks, what can I control today? You can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control your habits. You can control your response. You can control your next action. And that is enough to begin changing your life. Now, let us bring everything together. Self-control is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming aware. Aware of your emotions. Aware of your thoughts. Aware of your habits. Aware of your reactions. Aware of your time. Aware of your desires. Aware of your actions. It is about noticing when something inside you is pulling you away from the person you want to become. You will not master self-control in one day. No one does. But every small act of control makes you stronger. When you pause instead of reacting, you grow. When you focus instead of scrolling, you grow. When you choose discipline instead of comfort, you grow. When you act even without motivation, you grow. The more you practice self-control, the more peaceful your life becomes. You stop being controlled by every mood. You stop being distracted by every temptation. You stop giving your future away to temporary feelings. And slowly, you become someone who can trust themselves. That is the real power of self-control. It gives you calmness. It gives you discipline. It gives you direction. And most importantly, it gives you ownership of your own life. So today, do not try to change everything at once. Control one emotion. Improve one habit. Protect 1 hour. Pause before one reaction. Take one disciplined action. Small control, repeated every day, becomes a powerful life. Thank you for watching. If this video helped you, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more meaningful lessons on mindset, discipline, and personal growth. And always remember, when you learn to control yourself, you begin to change your future.